Hi there, it's Peter Chapman from SKUFood, and I want to challenge you about how you're telling the story of your product. I've been watching a lot of different products lately, and in this environment that we're all working in right now, where you really have to do an even better job getting your product onto the consumer shopping list before they go to the store so that they make that decision to buy your product. And a big part of that is how you tell your story. And are you really telling a story that resonates? So I just wanted to share some insights into how you can do that for your food and beverage products. And the first thing that you really need to do is have a great definition of your target market. So who is buying your product? And I know a lot of times we want to say, oh, everybody loves my product. Everybody that I share it with loves it, whatever. And that's fine. But I really haven't never seen a food and beverage product that appealed to everybody. So we have to be realistic about that. And one of the statistics that I often like to quote when I'm speaking to a group or talking about this issue is Catalina Marketing out of the US did a big study, analyzed a lot of front end sales data. And what they found was that the average household, and your number is different than my number is different from somebody else's number, but the average household only buys 260 different items in an entire year. And that's in a grocery store with over 35,000 SKUs. So you can see how much A, we're creatures of habit, but B, how hard it is to really get that broad penetration. So we should be able to define who's buying our product. So if you want to tell your story, you've got to really figure out who's buying your product. So there are things that you should know, like your demographics, so the age, the household size, the income, the family makeup, all those kind of demographics, which are things which you should know about the people who are buying your products. And then the other thing you should know is, what are some other attributes that are important to them? Do they like to cook, or would they rather have convenience? Would they choose price first, or would they choose interesting flavors and quality ingredients in the product? Or are they adventurous, or they like it to just do what they've always done? All those kind of intangibles that you should know about your consumers. So make a list of them, try to figure out who they are. And the next thing I'd encourage you to think about when you're defining that target market is, how do they use your product? So what are they doing with it? Are they using it as an ingredient, or do they eat it by itself? Is it something they use in everyday meals, or is it a gift, a special occasion? How do they use that product? And that's another thing that goes into defining your target market. And then the last thing that we really need to figure out is, why do they buy? Why do they buy your product? And that's an important thing, because then when you tell your story, you're going to be telling it to the right person, and it's going to resonate with why they buy the product. So if that sounds exciting to you and you want to learn more about how to take that target market information and tell your story, which leads to sales, which is the thing we all are trying to strive for in this food industry, join me for one of our SKUFood Recipes for Success, which is presented by FCC. And on July 8th, we're going to start to talk about how you tell that story so it resonates with consumers. We look forward to seeing you then.